Hi, welcome to Oh, the People You'll Meet. My name is Stephanie Richardson, and I am so glad that you are here today to join us. I named this podcast Oh, the People You'll Meet because I meet people in the craziest places, whether it's the grocery store, it's out and about, random stores, it's at kids' games, at church. I get to meet some of the coolest people, but what I love about these people that I get to meet is their stories. And I hear their stories, I learn more about them, and I feel closer to the Lord because of their stories. It's their stories of triumph, their stories of difficulties, their funny stories. And whatever stories I hear from them, I'm like, wow, God is so present. He's so with us. And it makes me feel comforted. It makes me not feel alone. And so I thought this podcast would be great to share with you guys these stories so that you would also feel closer to the Lord, feel encouraged. And so each week I have a different guest. And today I'm so excited to have Lori Walker. I always start my podcast with how I met the person, right? Because it's called Oh, the People You'll Meet.
Right.
And so you and I met through football. We're football moms.
Yes.
And so we met through football. But I really feel like where we really bonded and really got to know each other, it was last summer when we went to Broken Bow.
So fun.
As a family.
So fun.
There were 6 families that went.
I think so, yeah.
And so there were 6 families that go. And so I don't know you super well. I mean, we've talked, here and there. And so I get to know your super spiritual gift of cocktails.
I don't know that that's great.
But I knew we were like kindred spirits because you love parties and love party planning, and that's like my thing. And so I think we really bonded over that, and the fact that you have to have a specialty cocktail with whatever
Everything.
party you have.
Everything.
And so every day at the lake you had a different specialty cocktail. And so today, since you were going to be my guest, I decided to have our own specialty cocktail.
I'm so proud of you.
And it was a lot of pressure because I was like, what is the specialty cocktail going to be? But I saw it on Instagram, so it had to be cool.
It totally is cool.
Right?
I love this.
Yes, so this is like champagne with some cotton candy. I hope I don't spill it. Oh, I probably will, but
that's
fine.
okay.
But look how
that's
cute.
Okay. Oh my gosh, look how cute. And it's going to be sweet.
And it's pink.
So
I'm so happy.
It's my favorite color.
Down there. My favorite color too. So
Oh
there's
my
that. Is that fun?
That is so fun.
Yeah. So we have our little
Cheers.
Cheers to our favorite cocktail.
Our favorite cocktail. Let me see.
It's good.
Oh my goodness, that's so good.
That is
Is there more cotton candy?
Yes,
We should put a bowl right here.
We have a lot. We have a lot of cotton candy.
We can just put them in our. Keep refreshing.
Yes. Isn't that fun? It's all pink. I love it. Okay, so that's so funny. So that's kind of how we met. We met and kind of bonded, and that's really where, I kind of knew you, but sometimes when you go on vacation, you kind of know deeper, like more about that person. Right. So I kind of learned more about your story and who you are, and so we're going to kind of go back to kind of your story. You grew up in Nocona.
Yes.
And so share a little bit about how you grew up.
Nocona population 3,000.
3,000.
Yes. But you know what? It was so great. My parents were educators. My father was a superintendent of schools. My mom taught, and then she was a assistant superintendent. So we just really had that great growing up. I don't know if you'd call it, the Leave It to Beaver but they were great. And one thing that was really cool is there was not a thing. I don't care if you were getting a little paper certificate at school. They were there.
Your parents were there.
They came to everything.
Yes.
They came to everything. So went through elementary, junior high, high school at Nocona, and then went to Austin College when I graduated. Both of my parents had gone there, and so it was just kind of the logical move. And it was really a very, very great experience. Austin College is very small, so I was used to that, being in Nocona. And so, back in school, did everything. You were honor society and one act play and student council and cheerleader and band and basketball and track and volleyball.
You did them all?
I did it all because you couldn't start the next season until one group was finished.
Yes.
And so, but you know what? That I think is kind of what certainly started my foundation of kind of getting involved, and everything. So I took that to college, got involved in everything that there was to have. And Austin College has these Jan terms that you go on. So the 6 weeks during January. So you got to first semester, second semester, and then you have this Jan semester. And it's kind of designed for you to do something that's kind of a little out of your major, but, kind of expand on your major too. So I went 1 year to London and got to study the theater, which I was a communications major, which was very, very cool. And then I thought at one point I was going to be a teacher, and I had a Jan term, and I was 2 days in a 5th grade class and said, I'm out. I am totally not going to be a teacher. That is, follow my parents' footsteps.
Yes.
I love them. They do great.
Yes.
No, I was not going to do that.
Not going to be an educator, yeah.
And then my senior year, while I was there was a scuba diving class in Cozumel. And I wanted to do it so bad. And my mom said, absolutely not. You will do something that is going to further your major.
Okay.
And so there was a class in Washington, D.C. It was called the Media on the Potomac. And I did it, and I got the bug, the hook. I really thought I would go to work, for in print or, voice, radio, something. But when I interviewed for a job there, it was with the Washington Post, and it kind of those entry-level jobs, it was like you're going to be selling ads for somebody that's got a car for sale. Yeah, that was not going to happen.
Right.
So you're in Washington, D.C., and so Capitol Hill, it has a lot of the allure. My parents said they would support me through the summer if I went there, graduated, went to DC, and I had a job in 2 weeks with a member of Congress. Now, I'd never done any poli-sci. I had just done communications, so I guess my skills of communications worked. I don't know. I guess
that's the other thing that, is our common thing. We're both speech comm majors, which is funny.
Uh-huh.
I mean, and that's what my business coach asked me the other day. He's like, well, what do you like to do? And I said, talk.
Just talk.
I know, I love to talk.
And that's what politicians do. They talk a lot.
They just talk. So you're like, you don't have poli-sci, but you're really good at talking. So it was perfect for politics, right?
It was totally perfect. And what was really cool, I didn't know anyone. I went to Washington with a sorority sister. She already had an internship. And to back up a little bit, when I had gone for that Jan term, I had met this Marine. And so I was like, well, okay, I'm going back to DC. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm going to get back.
Right.
But I didn't know anyone really. And everybody, is kind of working on Capitol Hill, and they're doing kind of all the same things. So a group of us decided, let's all be roommates. So I had one roommate from Tech. She had started with a Texas congressman. I worked for a congressman from Texas. I had two that went to Baylor. One also worked for a congressman from Texas. One worked at the State Department. And then another roommate worked at the White House. So our little 5 group, we thought we were like running the world. We had a lot of going.
Because Capitol Hill is basically bigger than your town. Probably as many people as are a part of that are probably bigger than your town, don't you think?
It's so big. You have the House and the Senate, and then the White House, and then the Library of Congress, and the Supreme Court. So it's all kind of right in the middle. And that was in the 80s, before any of this terrorist stuff was going on, where the security was locked down.
Yeah.
It was also before, now they have campaign finance reform, and it was before that. So dinners and all kinds of, it was a blast. Now we made nothing, and we only got paid once a month.
Yes.
So think about that last week when you have $7, in
yes.
your bank account, because you're
yes.
making nothing. But what would be really cool, we would call each other and we would say, hey, the Bankers Association is having a reception over in this office building or this thing. And so that's how we ate. We were so poor, and we ate shrimp cocktail and all kinds of little, snacks and stuff. But it was fun. It was totally, absolutely fun.
So fun.
So anyway, that Marine that I had moved for, he got reassigned and didn't take me with him. And so,
Yeah.
Okay, so I was in D.C. I ultimately married. I guess at that time I was kind of into a uniform. And
yes.
So I met someone from the Naval Academy, and so we married and had the big swords and all that kind of wedding.
Those are
And
crazy.
so then, and we were stationed, well, he was in Connecticut, but then we ultimately got stationed in San Francisco.
Oh, that's fun.
And so that was totally fun. I left my congressman, who I loved, that office, and I went to work for a U.S. senator in California. And so I was in the San Francisco office, and it was totally fun. I love politics. I love every bit about it. Came back to D.C., and that's when I had my oldest, Hayden. He's 25. The Navy and the husband and all of that thing didn't work out real well.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother story. And so I came back to Texas with a baby who's about little over a year old. And so that was probably, I would say, a low in my world and in my life. And
because here you are kind of like getting like hobnobbing with everybody and everything's
the president.
I know it sounds like you have like the coolest job, and then you end up like single with a baby, and you come back to Texas.
And you're like, oh,
that's not really where you want to be.
What has happened in my world?
Yeah.
And so through a lot of those connections, I I got a job pretty quickly with our state senator, and she was fabulous. I worked with her for 10 years. And so did all of the, again, politics that I love, but I also worked on her campaign. And so did a lot of fundraising. Hence, that was like a part of the whole politics that I had never done before. And events, because you're raising money, but you have to have events through that. So that kind of led me into kind of really what I do now. But back up just a little bit. So I'm a single mom, and I have a 2-year-old, and I've moved back to Flower Mound, Texas. And it was really interesting. One of my dearest friends from growing up, our parents were friends. He lived in Louisville and worked. And so while I was raising money, I was like, hey, would you serve on this finance committee? All you have to do is raise $1,000, and I've got 50 people that are raising $1,000, Sure. He said, sure. So he was from my hometown. And I literally, Neil Walker, which I gave a little bit of that away, but he had divorced. He had been married also, and they didn't have any children. And so he had moved to Louisville. Of course, I had been friends with, his mom and his family forever. And I came back one time and I said, oh my God, like, what happened to Neil? His wife.
He's like a grown up.
I said to her, what happened? His marriage, all of that. And she said, oh yeah, that girl was crazy. But that's not funny. So, but what is really funny about that is we've been friends forever. And so I was in Washington, D.C. when he got married. And so I got a little trivet. It was a silver trivet from the House of Representatives Representative Center bookstore. And so for a wedding gift, I gave him and his first wife a little gift. Anyway, so I had asked him, would you serve on this committee? He said, absolutely. And so we were back, and so we would have lunch. And so I tried to fix him up with numerous people, lots of people. No, he never wanted to do that. So he invited our family and my ex-husband, and he said, why don't y'all come to this event? And I said, well, you know what, Hayden and my baby, I said, we would love to come. And so he said, well, is he out of town? And I said, well, yeah, permanently. I said, I haven't told a lot of people, but this is where we are right now. And he would say that he did do this as well. He said he was sitting at his desk and was like, yes. So anyway, we had our first date officially, this best friend and I, who would sit on the last pew at church and pass notes back and forth, and our mothers would turn around and give us bad looks.
You have a picture of y'all at like your like little birthday party. You were like what, 4?
I was 5. He was 3.
He was like in the picture,
was like a baby. So anyway, we had our first official date, New Year's Eve, and then we got engaged in March and married in July. And so it was like perfect. And so he has been just this incredible role model for Hayden, our now 25-year-old. And then Truett this is really fun. This is kind of crazy. We really tried to have Truett for a long, long time. I mean, it was like 7 years. It took us to have Truett. But Hayden would always say, Mom, can we please have a baby brother or baby sister? Can we please have it? So Truett was, we were so excited. So we have 2 boys. And Truett's a senior.
Truett's a
senior.
Truett's a senior.
I know Jake is a senior.
Jake is a senior. Truett's a senior. Oh my gosh.
And so he was born. This is interesting too. My first day back from maternity leave was September 11th, 2001.
Oh yeah.
And so Truett was like about 5 weeks old. And my mother-in-law came to stay, and you're getting ready and you're rushing, and I remember rushing through the living room, and she said, oh my goodness, a plane has hit a building in New York, and and so then she came and said, oh my gosh, something is really happening. And so that was kind of a day that changed a whole lot of a world. You always know where were you when certain things happen.
And you were going back to work for, at that point, who were you working for?
The state senator that I had worked for.
That would have been really stressful.
So it was okay, when you think 2001 too, she called and she said, run by Walmart and pick up a TV. And we just watched TV all day. Okay, we picked up a TV. Like, go get a TV. That was really before any of the
internet.
Anything.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there wasn't. And
pick up a TV.
So go pick up a TV. And so anyway, I worked in the state government, and I said did fundraising. And then I did part of our county government and worked with that. I've kind of been on every level, federal, state, and county. And I had said I served on, there's a napkin someone gave me, and it's got a girl going, pick me, pick me. And so I just have been on every board that there was. And that was due to what I watched, with my parents. And so I had been on the board for the Flower Mound Chamber. And we had the opening for the president of the chamber, and several people started saying, oh, you should do this, oh, you should do that. I was on the board. Anyway, so I started as the president of the Flower Mound Chamber in 2013, and I have been there a little over 6 years now. And it's my total dream job, because
you get to do all the things.
I get to do all those things.
Yeah.
I get to be the cheerleader for our whole community,
right,
which is so fun. And, I believe that that's just kind of where your impact, is made.
Right.
And I said, I watched my parents. They were both in everything. They were everything from every committee, every Rotary. They were kind of part of the chamber volunteering,
right,
as well. And so I just watched that my whole life. And so I didn't know anything,
right,
any different.
Right. Because that was kind of how. When you're deciding, because I have a hard time saying yes to certain things. I'm like, oh man, I probably shouldn't have said yes to that. We know some things that I've said yes to that we shouldn't have. And so in that, how do you just say yes to all the things, and you're like, oh, or have you been able to navigate that, or are you do you still make those mistakes of saying yes to things that you probably should have said
I probably
no to?
do, and probably now, the older you get, the more wisdom that you have, and right, I'm probably a little pickier now and a little more thoughtful on choosing. Was I always? No,
right,
because I really felt like that I could do everything.
Right.
I could just do it all. And Neil is my number one supporter. So he doesn't, he doesn't go, oh, okay, seriously. He's really, really good about it.
He knows
And
that that's your gifting.
He knows
and
that's
he wants
what
you
I
to
do.
be a part of that.
And
that's
so,
cool.
and with kids, I mean, I have done, room mom, PTA president, booster club president, all the things, and the Education Foundation, Communities in Schools of North Texas, United Way. The list just kind of goes on. And you your talents, you kind of lend that to what ever organization that it is.
Right.
And it's so fun. I love it. I have met some of the most amazing people that I would never, ever meet before. I would love to get everybody in the same room, from
so
all of those
Yes.
different
a party.
plucks.
Could have a party.
It could totally be a party. And it would be there would have to be different cocktails, especially cocktail bars
For each
eras.
person.
Eras
of all your
everything that I was doing.
my gosh.
You know what though? Again, I come by that very, very honestly.
Yeah.
My mom was just beautiful and incredible. And I have this, if you have certain so vivid memories, I was probably in 5th grade and she loved to have parties. I mean, it would be for church, or it would be for school, or it would be for family, friends, and everything. And of course, back then, it would be the celery with cheese
Yes.
and the little the cucumber sandwiches
Yes.
and things like that. I mean, it wasn't the way we do things now. But I remember this one party, and she had on this jumpsuit that was high collar and big legs and real tight. She was real tiny, and it was pink and purple, and she was making these cocktails in those little champagne glasses, the little coupe, those vintage looking ones, and she had them on a tray. And I was like, oh my gosh, I just want to be her. I want to be her. And so she, was really kind of responsible for
She was the party, life at the party.
She really was. And she was, oh my gosh, her love for the Lord was, and I say was, she passed away at 47, which was crazy.
And how old were you?
I was 25. My youngest sister was in high school. And you think about 47, I mean, wow, I have way past that. It just, doesn't seem, I mean,
47
sometimes I
years
go,
old, yeah.
and she's now been gone longer in my life, longer than
You had her.
than I had her.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing that was really cool about her too is, again, Nocona is so small. The high school is a little over 200 people, and she started an ecumenical youth group that was every Sunday night. It was a youth group, and almost every single person in high school came. And she would spend Sunday afternoons because she had the whole list of the whole school. And she would call, those people that maybe were on the fringe, or maybe, maybe weren't making good decisions, or maybe, just needed a little somebody to, kind of lift them up. And, she would sit on the couch and she would call and say, we will miss you if you weren't there tonight. We're really counting on you being there. And it was interesting when she passed away, out in front of the church. It was really cold that day, and there were hundreds of people that were outside. And so I think that's like a true testament that a life well lived,
Right.
God would say, good for you,
yeah.
my, faithful servant.
Yeah.
And
So is that kind of like spurred you on to like do all those things? And how did you do that with raising your boys?
I didn't know anything any different. She had worked my entire life growing up. And again, they came to every single thing that we had ever done. Mm-hmm. And they were they supported us. So I didn't know any different. And so you just kind of, you say, oh, well, that's what I'm going to do. But let me tell you too, this is...
because Neil has a pretty intense career as well.
He does.
And so that's kind of a hard balance to balance. I mean, 2 really important careers with 2 boys.
Right.
Active boys.
Fortunately, the people that I worked for, were also very, if I needed to take off for this, or if I needed to, pick up for this. Now, I won't lie, there were times that, they're about turning the lights off at the child care center. My kids are sitting on the bench, But, and you feel like you're a terrible parent. But I think they have watched me too, and have seen that, that is, what you do. And, I don't know. For me, it just worked. I think other people that it probably doesn't or wouldn't. But I don't feel like that they have never had me.
Right.
I
feel like you've done such a good job at that because, I don't know Hayden really, but I know Truett, and he seems to be super well adjusted and like a good kid. He's quiet,
Very
probably
quiet.
more quiet. So probably because our kids are probably more quiet than us because we've taken all the words.
All of it.
There's no more room for words because we've taken them all.
Yes. Yes.
And so there's probably why they're a little bit more reserved because they think we're that word extra. Have they called us? Have you called you extra? Have you heard
Extra.
that word?
Yeah. You're a little bit much.
You're a little you're a little extra mom.
And they say that a lot.
yeah.
They're like, Mom. And, it's
like, I am who I am. I can't do anything about it.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. And so I just think that it totally worked for us. And again, Neil, I couldn't do it if he wasn't supportive.
Neil cooks.
He cooks.
Yes.
Yes.
So you didn't have to cook.
I don't. Truett and Hayden would both say, I can do spaghetti and tacos.
Oh, that's so good.
One time it was, I had gone and gotten some, like 4 or 5 of the big things from Wendy's of the chili. And I came home, I put it all in a crock pot. And of course it was decorated because I like to, do all that. And so everything looked great and everyone is eating it and it is so, good. And Truett got something out of the pantry and the little Wendy's, the little fire sauce thing that you put in. And he goes, Mom, is that Wendy's chili? And I go, you ate every bit of it. And y'all were acting like it was fabulous. So,
well,
yeah.
I think right there just shows like I think you're really good because, we've worked together with football mom stuff. I think you're really good at finding your gifting and not saying yes to things that like you shouldn't say yes to. So even though I'm sure there's been mistakes and you're like, oh, I shouldn't have said that. I feel like, and maybe that's just trial and error. You know your giftings and you know what you should be doing. Right. So you're not feeling bad that you're not, Miss Chef at home and whatever, because you're just like, I'm not. Like, I can't do that and do this and do that. So what's going to give?
Right.
And I also know that you're super, available for your boys. You are at all the things, especially since it's Truett senior year.
It's Truett senior year.
It's Truett senior year.
So I go to everything.
You get to be at everything. And so, yeah. So, I think you've done such a great job at that. I just like, okay, and I think sometimes, I think that's hard for women to not know, okay, like, what are your giftings and do those things.
Right.
Like, don't do all the things.
Right.
Do the things that you're really good at. And if you have to order pizza, like,
that's what we do.
That's what we do.
And
if you're not a great cook,
well, here's the thing.
I'm not either, so it's okay.
And I have tried to cook, and Neil just comes in and takes over. So,
let him.
Let him.
And he likes it.
And I like doing the party stuff.
Yes.
I mean, if we're having someone over, if it's, something, that's special.
That has a, specialty
cocktail. I am in charge
yes.
at that point. And, I'm very organized, too. I, everything, everything has
a place.
your
shoe closet has like
my closet.
You have like those clear things, and you've taken a picture of them all, and like have on the outside.
My closet.
Oh my gosh!
Everybody should have a happy place.
Not that.
And so, my closet is sort of like a boutique. I mean, that's the way I wanted it to be.
Yeah.
So I have some art up on the wall of these beautiful sketches of beautiful ladies. I have a whole area of jewelry. I have this beautiful fuzzy bench so it's kind of like a little boutique, and I love shoes. So I have lots of shoes.
Yeah, I wish y'all could see her shoes.
My shoes are so cute. And here's the thing: a pair of shoes. I'm going to tell everybody this. If this is the words of wisdom of Lori. I was with President Reagan, and now I'm going to really tell you. But a cool pair of shoes can totally change your confidence for the whole day. you can really have these gross jeans, or I have on this sweatshirt, and you have some cute shoes on, and you feel good. You feel good. So I tell everybody, go get cute shoes, and they can be from.
Do you wear like inserts in them to make them feel better, or you just suffer through?
No, I suffer through. And then I have some comfortable shoes.
Yeah.
That's also, I also have some things that are unacceptable to talk about. And comfortable shoes.
It's not something you talk about.
The weather.
Oh, that's what you said.
The weather.
When we're older, we're not allowed
Mm-hmm.
to talk about comfortable shoes, the weather and the traffic. No.
Traffic and ailments.
Oh, like things that are hurting you.
That are hurting.
That's not. We're not allowed to talk about that.
No, we
yes,
can't.
I remember that on
Those
our
are
girls.
those are
Our
taboo.
girls trip a couple weeks ago. You said we weren't allowed to talk about those
can't.
things. So that's good. keep those things going.
Keep all of those things going.
Okay, so
so
those are awesome. Those are words to live by. So yeah, a good pair of
and
shoes.
make your closet cute.
Make your closet cute. Gosh,
But
don't look at my closet right
organized, is very good. I also, and this was back from my mother. My mother did baby books and scrapbooks. They are right now probably, if you say what's something that is, just so special, it is those books, because she wrote, and they've got all of her words,
really?
and she wrote things, down. And so, I did that, and, I don't know. I still buy them. That creative memory.
Yes.
I went to this class one weekend with some neighbors, and I'm also very focused, and I do. And so I at that one weekend did 7 years worth of in these books, and they were beautiful, and they would have pop-up pages and stuff. Some of my other friends were like, should I use this color paper or this one? It's like, just get it in the book. Get it in. But my boys have, and Truett, I am probably at the Hyde Park Austin game where I haven't.
Okay.
So I'm that far behind on him. But every holiday, all the books come out, and everybody does remember.
That's so fun.
And it's one of those things that, it's another love language, that your kids, can, okay, wow, that was a full life, and it's here. And what's kind of, people now have all their stuff, their pictures that are stored, in every kind of card, and on the iCloud, and all that kind of stuff. And, it's really fun to kind of, and, you can do one page that covers,
I just forget to print them out.
Yeah.
And I have, actually, when my grandfather died, I didn't want anything of his except for his pictures, because he had really great, cool pictures of him and my grandmother. And really, that's all I wanted when he died. I didn't want any of his furniture, any of his, accolades, anything. I just wanted his pictures. And I thought, how odd that you accumulate all this stuff, and all you wanted the end of those pictures. I'm sure your mother's things. You cherish those pictures so much, and so I think you're really good at being intentional. But also, you had a great role model.
A role model too. Oh, absolutely.
And I love how you're carrying on her legacy.
I know, and
my mom was a really good cook, and she did a lot of good things, and I have not picked up on a lot of her good traits. So I'm like, gosh, I need to. But I'm more like my dad. Probably he loved having fun and people and all those things. So I kind of hoping to carry on some of his traits. But
well, she was funny, and this just happened because baseball season. So my mom didn't cook either.
Oh, okay.
So she would, this is classic. She would holler at the top, from the bottom of the stairs, holler up, "I'm leaving, grab a Snickers on the way down and on the way out the door." And when I say Snickers, remember you buy the bags of the little mini Snickers? Yeah. You grab a little Snickers on the way out. That's
what y'all ate, was candy?
Oh, yeah, for breakfast.
For breakfast.
For breakfast.
Yes.
Grab a Snickers on the way out. So baseball season has started, and so I got up last week, the first couple of mornings, and I fixed breakfast, and because I thought it's his senior year.
Senior year, yes.
And by day 3, he said, "Mom, stop." He said, I don't want, so, you're accustomed to what you're
He's like, you're messing up our flow.
You're messing up what I normally do. So anyway, we eat though. We eat.
Y'all do?
Yeah, we just finished up So I'm probably a little hungry. We did the Daniel fast.
Yes.
So the football dads,
Yes,
as you
all the
know,
football dads.
decided that they would do it together. I think they met at Chili's for burgers and beer before they started it.
Right.
And then yesterday was the final 21 days. And I think they met at Babe's.
Chicken House.
So,
Yeah.
But so the Daniel.
I can't imagine how sick they were last night
know.
after doing the Daniel fast.
I know.
And then eating Babes afterwards. I'm like, oh, they were so sick.
Well, I did it to support Neil.
Yes.
I said, I'm going to do it. And of course, he would say the only reason I did it is because
Otherwise
that's what
you
he
wouldn't
cooked.
eat, yeah.
So today I had celery and hummus.
You did?
Yeah, I didn't.
You didn't miss it.
I didn't miss it. So,
Yeah.
anyway.
That's so good. So what is your favorite healthy snack?
Oh, well, now it's like hummus.
Oh, gosh.
21 days ago.
I know.
I will tell you, I am a total junk food. I mean, so I love tacos.
Tacos.
Yeah. So healthy stuff. I mean, salads. I
Yeah.
eat salads, but I like Funyuns and Pop-Tarts. And
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah.
And you're so tiny.
yeah. One of my trainers once said I was skinny fat. I don't know if that's a compliment or
no,
not.
it's a term. Like,
Is that
it's
a term?
skinny. Yes,
You
it really
probably
is.
know
I
that.
call people that too. And
Okay.
and so skinny fat is those people who are skinny, but they don't have any tone. They're not toned at all. And so you call it skinny fat. So, I wouldn't, I'd be fine if I was skinny fat. I wouldn't really complain. That'd be fine. No trainer has ever said that to me.
that.
No, they're just, you're
I'm
fat.
going to get toned.
Yeah.
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 One of these.
Oh, yeah, because it's true to your senior year.
Yeah,
and
so
we have
next
prom.
year, and we have prom.
We were that's our goal. Like, because prom we go.
Do we get to
dance.
dance? Oh,
we
we
dance
dance.
with them. We get to wear a cute
Okay, that's a
outfit.
total goal.
And I've already been looking for an outfit. So we're gonna find an outfit, but we have to have good arms.
Yeah.
Because it's probably a sleeveless dress, a cocktail
yes.
dress, right?
Okay.
Okay, well, that's our next goal.
Okay,
So what is your what's something fun you're loving these days?
fun that I'm loving. Well, again, I love doing events and parties. So my Instagram, of course, I follow some of my friends and stuff too, but my entire Instagram is made up of designers and party planners and everything. So I'm really into, I keep screenshotting. I have a whole gallery of, I'm going to try that. I'm going to do that.
Oh, fun.
And then one of the things that I love, I'm not a huge reader. I'm a serial reader, but I like to touch old books and books. I love to, libraries, but one of the things I've started collecting all of these beautiful fashion books. And so I have, in the last probably year and a half, I just
Where do you get
have
them?
a whole collection. Okay, Half Price Books.
Really?
I get a lot of them there. And
I need some big table books for
They're
decorating.
Beautiful.
And so
Yeah. And so,
that's so cool. You should go see Carmen. Carmen has this humongous. Have you seen it in her house?
she has that really big
one.
book.
Yeah.
Oh, if I could find one.
Is it
that
Andy
big.
Warhol or something? Some famous.
probably-
I don't remember.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Yes.
Okay, so you read old books. What is your favorite parenting advice?
Well, it is, don't cripple your children by doing everything for them. And so I kind of feel like Truett is sort of my do-over, because there
Right.
were 7 years.
Oh, yeah.
Hayden, I did everything. I laid his clothes out on his bed, probably through high school. I probably could today, and he would wear them. And so I just don't, don't cripple them.
Okay.
And I think also, both of my boys are very adventurous eaters. We love to eat out.
Mm-hmm.
That is one thing we love to do. And we love to try new things. And so we've never ever let them, if we were going to a restaurant and bring in chicken nuggets or something, we've just never, you always have to try stuff. So their palate is very advanced, I guess.
That's so cool.
So that is good. But I think that a lot of times the kids get to, be the total center. And that's not saying that my kids aren't the center of my world.
Right.
But I think that they, sort of need to do things and fail.
Right.
sort of on their own.
Right.
Because if they fail, the first time they fail is, when they're older or
Right.
adults, then, it's a bigger,
Harder.
fail.
So they
It's
can
harder.
fail when they're younger. It's a little bit easier.
And Truett, when I say he's the do-over, Truett does all of his laundry, has since he was probably in 6th grade. He is very responsible. So we've kind of done that. We could take both of our boys and give them $100, and we could put them in the middle of, Rome. And they both would get back. Truett would be back very efficiently and very quickly because that's how he is. Hayden would maybe be gone 6 months, and he might live with some gypsies. He might travel. He might be on a boat somewhere.
Yeah.
Which he's really got a lot. They both have my personality.
Right.
The real organized Truett, and then the total let it go Hayden. So that would be my advice.
So
Don't cripple your children.
Don't cripple your children. Where's your favorite travel destination?
Oh, you know what? The Bahamas.
Y'all are big cruisers, right? Y'all love doing cruises.
We love doing a cruise. We did for my 50th with 2 other my girlfriends that turned 50 that year. We did a Mediterranean cruise, and so, it was fabulous. Oh. But the boys love the Bahamas. We've been there several times, and
like
that's
Atlantis
kind of
in the
they
Bahamas,
love
or
Atlantis.
just wherever in the Bahamas?
And it's just been totally great vacations. So I would say, yeah, we love that.
Okay, and so the last question,
Okay,
and the most important question, is what's your favorite beverage?
I drink water.
Drink water.
I totally drink water, but I love specialty
Cocktails.
cocktails, but coffees.
Oh, especially coffees too.
I love fun coffees. But there's just something about the one that you get in the little pretty heart and the stuff. I want to take a class and learn how to do that.
You should.
And
we're gonna have a lot of time on our hands.
We are. We're going to be able to do.
But
I love specialty cocktails. I like to put in. It was fun when we went to the lake. It's just a fun little thing. People kind of look forward to something, kind of fun and special, because life's too hard.
I think it's so great that you add so much fun, and I think you add fun to my life, and I love your story, and just how you've gotten to do some really cool things, and just how God's just kind of molded you into what you're doing today. So it's really cool.
It's totally
and you're making
fun.
Amazing difference in Flower Mound, and we all love you.
A difference. I love it. You mentioned on books. When I'm going to write 2.
Oh, I love this. Yes.
Books. Mm-hmm. And so my mother's name was Joy Annette. So my first one would be Choose Joy. And that kind of is like what my whole being is. Yes. Everybody, why be sad?
Yeah.
I mean, why be?
Right.
And then the other one is Don't Be Hard.
Don't be hard.
And so don't be hard.
Why do you make it hard? Just don't be hard.
Be hard.
Yeah. That's my new mantra this year. Don't be hard.
Don't be hard.
I don't have time for it.
We don't.
Yeah.
You and I have talked about a couple of those.
Yes.
And it's hard. It takes a lot of energy.
Yeah.
So choose joy.
Choose joy and don't be hard. I love it.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, babe.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
I loved it.